Ah, there we are. Okay. Okay, hold on here.
Did you pour down? Pick 'em nose! I'm almost out of coffee. I'm about to start drinking alcohol. Hey, we might have a guest coming. I don't know if he's gonna come in. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Let me start a little late today. A little late today. A little late today. Oh, oh, oh. My fatness is amazing. My fatness is amazing.
Got a little bit busy this morning.
Whatever, bro.
Didn't actually pay attention to what was, or verify, I should say, what was going on in there.
No verification.
Yeah. Turned out my printer ran out of paper, so then it went back in there to pick up what I printed out for you. And then,
What'd you print out?
oh, a whole bunch of different stuff that I figured we could talk about.
Cool.
Write that one out.
We're talking about snowpocalypse.
going.
Still printing? Still printing?
Yeah. Anyway, the one I wanted to start out with this morning is this. I ended up in Facebook jail.
You ended up where?
Facebook jail.
On your personal account or RCR?
Both, evidently. That's the part that really got me. And then I asked them why.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, well come out. Come to the back. The gate's unlocked.
Okay.
And then you can come in.
I'm gonna park in front and walk around.
Okay. Then just come on in the studio.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, boss.
I should have in front of your place right now.
Copy that.
All right, bye.
Bye.
so,
I see your Steve who's watching us, and raise you my Steve who's joining us.
Well, that'll work. But this is what they showed us.
What happened?
This is all I could find out right here.
Holy crap! I can't. Hang on. Let me get up close to the screen so I can read that.
Well, let's see if I can enlarge it any.
Child nudity? Woo!
Yeah.
What the hell did you do with? What are you posting Miss Teen Beauty pageant with that fat ugly dude that won?
I don't know what the hell went on, and it says on Messenger. I sent this on Messenger. I went back through every message all the way back to May, and I can't find anything even close.
Child nudity. That's, bro. I've known you for a little while, and I'm gonna go with that's not no.
Yeah. So I'm looking for a lawyer because I'm calling this.
That's defamation of character.
That's
sir.
the one. That's what I was looking for. It's got me so pissed off you would not believe it.
Bro. Those are that's some hard stuff too. That's stuff that'll stick with you. People look at that and they'll go, oh.
Yeah, but that's just it. I looked through every post that I could find. Now they said that they won't show the post, but they also won't tell me what it was.
Right?
This is all they've got. And then it's like there's more than one, evidently.
Well, I guess I'm wondering if someone hacked into your account.
Well, that's what I told them when I messaged them, asking them to, what did I do, and I said if it's got anything to do with this stuff and everything, I said either somebody hacked me or somebody cloned me or something, because anybody that knows me knows that ain't gonna happen,
Yeah.
And but not even a reply. Nothing. Not even I'll check into it or you're full of shit or nothing.
Right.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking for a lawyer to go for a defamation of character lawsuit against Facebook, because that ain't gonna happen, man.
They'll never learn.
Well, I can, the closest thing that I could even find that had anything to do with a kid, okay, was it was a joke, a word joke.
Okay.
Okay, so it wasn't like there were pictures of kids, but
Right.
it was a word joke, and it had to do with this young girl was sitting on a plane, and she was flying, or getting ready to fly, and this older gentleman was was sitting next to her, and he turned to her and he says, that long trips like this, it goes faster and it's more pleasant if you can talk to somebody. So she says, well, what do you want to talk about? He says, I don't know. We can talk about nuclear fission. We can talk about world peace, And she says, well, I can talk to you about that stuff. She says, but I want you to, but you have to answer questions for me. He says, okay, what's that? She says, why is it that when a horse poops, it comes out in clumps? When a cow poops, it comes out in patties. And when a deer poops, it comes out in beads. And he looks at her and I have no idea. She says, well, then how can we talk about world peace and nuclear fission if you don't know shit? That's the only thing I could find that has anything to do with a kid.
Okay.
So how is that this?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, this is my Steve. My Steve's real. Your Steve's imaginary.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's Gary.
Yeah. If you're a sick son of a gun, then my Steve is imaginary, because that means he's a figment of your imagination. Yeah, because you were sitting next to him at the bar a couple of weeks ago.
I wasn't sitting next to anybody. There was no one there. What are you talking about? Just me and you. Crazy.
Yeah, by golly, and I think I actually have video of him talking to us too. So.
I see.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, if you want, go ahead, join us, and we'll make it a foursome.
I got you.
We'll be double teamed by Steve's.
Yeah.
Most of us Steve's are imaginary, actually.
Right. This is my imaginary friend Steve.
Yes.
Imagine that.
We'll quit advertising.
Well, nice to meet you, Steve. Or should I say, nice to meet you, Veggies, Steve?
What happened? No, this is Metal Steve. Yours is Footloose.
Footloose actually closer to my persona at this point in my life, actually.
Yeah, but his Steve lost half his foot to diabetes, so it's true.
I'm not that loose.
Yeah, my wife is only 4'10", and Steve used to be one of the biggest people I knew, but now he's only 1.5 feet.
Yes.
You got short and fast.
Yeah.
Lost half a foot. So yeah, that's just where we are, man. How you like them there snowstorms?
Oh, the snowstorms wasn't all that bad. The ice storm, that one made me nervous.
You want a drink?
Just a shot.
I don't have a shot glass. You're gonna have to sip it like a man.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, I mean, I've always and often followed the science and said that global warming starts with global cooling, because when the Arctic starts to warm up, they're going to push that cool air down upon us, and we're seeing that now.
Well,
it's kind of fun.
Yeah, well, I would much rather go for the warming part than that colding part. Because...
Hey, we gotta wait. I mean, it sucks. I don't like the cold. I would rather have a tropical desert, or tropical forest.
Actually, if they warm this place up about 10 degrees, it would be pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, it actually would. And the sea levels might rise, but people will move or adapt.
I live on a hill.
I'm 300 feet above sea level right here, so we're good.
Sea level
Bring that shit up.
Yeah, we could end up.
It's really weird. They complain about the melting of the ice, and it's going to raise sea levels, but yet there's a drought for crops and people without water. Why not harvest the ice? We know it's going to melt. We know that climate change is real. We know that the caps are going to melt. We're worried about the ocean levels rising. Why not mitigate it a little bit by harvesting ice for water and for power and for irrigation of crops and stuff?
Why not just go on up to the North Pole and start getting some of those glaciers that are breaking off, pull them up here with the big helicopters and set them on Mount Shasta and Mount Rainier and all the other mountains that normally feed us our water.
We're not looking to replace glaciers. We're looking to actually have liquid water for people to use.
Well, yeah, and it will, because it'll get there, it'll start to melt, and it'll fill up the reservoirs again.
That's the thing that happens now, not some fluffy idea of, oh, look, we got our glaciers back. enjoy the river. The salmon will come back because the river's coming back.
No, I'm just thinking, put it all up there, let it melt. It wouldn't take long.
I wonder how big of a glacial chunk 4 Chinook helicopters could bring.
That would be something to see. Yeah.
And if they dropped it, would it just would it look like an atomic bomb of snow coming off a Rainier? That'd be cool. Or they could desalinate the ocean. But then, see, the thing about the glaciers pushing cold water in where the runoff happens at the glacier in Antarctica and Greenland and stuff like that is they're worried about an influx of cold water disrupting the natural rhythm of the
Currents.
ocean currents.
Yeah.
So I harvest the ice. Let's use the water. We're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. Kind of.
I have no opinion on this at all.
Like, fuck these people in their water. I'm an
Basically, what it
alien.
comes down to is I figure whatever happens, we'll just kind of flow with it when it happens. I mean, I don't see it being a big problem that's just going to all of a sudden like fall out of the sky or anything. It's going to be a gradual process.
Well, I'm just hoping that this glacier thing happens pretty quick, because if it does, then you and I are going to be sitting pretty because we're going to have oceanfront property.
The water would have to come up pretty far.
It would take some really amazing stuff to get me in.
Like I said, we're 334 feet where I'm sitting right now, so that's a lot of. We don't have that much glacier.
We'd have to get hit by like a glacier planet.
We would have to get hit by a glacier planet.
Or like
Which isn't out of the question.
Just give it some time.
It's
Wait,
not
what
out of the
happened?
question. Yeah. It was 65 million years ago. We don't know if it was a glacier that hit. We just know it was as big as Everest. Could have been anything. The thing over Tunguska could have been a glacier.
That's true. There's a lot of.
It could have been a cloud of flour as well.
There's a lot of
Flour's
possibilities.
explosive. Flour is explosive.
I know it is. It just we don't usually make bombs out of it.
Right.
You gotta be careful in that bakery. You know, got with all those others going, explosive flour.
It's more the silos when they're roughing, when they're cycling it through the silos. A little spark, and all of a sudden, boom! And you're like, "What? Our flour silo
But
blew
it's
up."
like powderized in air in the air.
Yeah.
It will light up.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
it's insane.
Yeah, flour.
And we eat it. What's this? This is a bomb. Oh, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Tastes it like a cake.
Defrost it with some butter. Yeah, I can see it. Oh yeah.
So they say possibly 26 dead in Buffalo, but that's just people that were reported dead.
Yeah.
What do you mean, frozen to death?
I'm assuming they probably did die of exposure to the elements.
Well, there was
lots of power.
There was a woman over in Wenatchee that died frozen to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened day before yesterday, I guess it was.
Ice storm?
Yeah, they found her in her car in Wenatchee.
That's what I wonder, man. All these people sleeping outside and that ice storm happened. Woo!
Yeah, that could have been easy.
Preserving the meat for the people that want to eat. It makes me laugh to watch all these videos of people in Seattle slipping and sliding down hills and shit. It's hilarious. It's like, oh, that guy's from California.
You know that hill outside my place, right out my bedroom window, I watch cars go up, try to go up it all day. Not one got up it.
There was a half-inch ice skating rink out in the yard.
Of course, yeah.
Joanne's got a 4-wheel drive, and I was just like, "You're not going to work today." She's like, "Will you take the truck out for me?" I'm like, "No, if you can't drive it out, you aren't going anywhere." She's like, "Well, yeah, I'm not coming to work today."
Well, hell, the other day I pulled out of my garage and he thought I hit something. He says, "Well, did you crash into something?" "No, it's just the road."
It sounded like you were running over cats and dogs and people. I heard screaming. That might have been me.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of crunching and crashing, but it was just the ice. You know,
Oh, definitely a bunch of fucking crashing. Yes.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's just this. It's always interesting to come in here. I haven't been in here in a while. I was around when this was originally built, and I've been in this space, this studio here, hundreds and hundreds of times.
This is probably the friendliest it's ever looked.
That might be. I mean, there was a stage here one time. We had a drum stage. And I had an entire wall of gear over here, and Jesse had an entire wall of gear going over here. And Jesse has repurposed this area
5 times now.
Oh, easily, yeah. That I remember being indirectly involved with them one way or another. Yeah, it's pretty. Now it's more kind of like a.
Well, this is
kind of like a private bar more than anything.
It's a doghouse, bro.
Yeah, it really is, ain't it?
If I mess up in there, I got a place to go.
It's walking distance, so it's relatively safe.
Rent's covered.
Yeah, where I'm underground, so if I get in trouble, I just go hide in my hole.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm usually down here.
I'm always out here.
I'm very seldom upstairs. Oh, did you hear about this one? The Tacoma City manager, Elizabeth Paul, the Washington legislators are receiving a 4 to 7% raise in 2023.
Oh, yeah. It's like that omnibus bill that they just passed. Nice raise in there for all our senators.
Yeah. Elizabeth Paul will be making more than $309,000 in 1 year.
How's she gonna get by?
Is she gonna be okay?
Well, I don't know, because she's still not making quite as much as the president of the United States, who is at $400,000 a year.
Right?
Well, she's just as important, isn't she?
Oh, she's more important.
Well, you know what? I think you're right about that. She's
She's local. That guy, he's just a figurehead. This is a local representative. So she's way more important than any teacher or politician in D.C.
Yeah.
Is she single? I have no idea who she is. I've heard the name.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. It was like, you got to be kidding me, man. These people aren't even worth $20,000 a year, and they're getting $300,000.
See, and that just brings me back to all politicians at any level, state, federal, at any level, should be punching a clock and getting minimum wage for the district that they're supposedly representing.
Yeah, it says the city manager can make up to $376,591.
Yeah. Well, I got a friend that's a city planner, and one time we were going to go do a gig in New York, and he was like, I can't. I have my career to think about.
Yeah.
I was like, don't you want to be a musician? He's like, nah.
He won't make as much money. Yeah.
Exactly. Especially not in these days.
Yeah, let's hear. Tacoma Public Utilities Director Jackie Flowers will make $409,677. So she's going to actually make more than the U.S. president.
You want to make money? Get into politics, folks.
Yep.
Hey, being a senator, if I could go back to when I was like still like useful and stuff, I think I would have going after being a senator would have been a pretty cool.
Bro, I am ruthless and I am a dirtbag. I would make a great Democrat senator.
I've seen what these senators do, and to tell you the truth, it doesn't look like it's outside of anything I'm capable of doing, to be quite honest.
No, they don't. Number one, they don't have to know anything because all the bills are written for them by the lobbyists and the corporations that have interest in the bills that are going to be passed.
I can say yay or nay or sign anything. I've done.
You don't even have to be present at a vote you don't want to be part of.
I could do that.
Or if you're forced to be present at a vote you don't want to take part of, you can vote present. Neither yay nor nay.
I can do that. I can pretty much do all.
You can go and ask inane questions to someone who's being prosecuted by our government. Sir, yes or no? Did you take the money? And that person will be like, well, it's not as easy as that. What I have to say is I have to explain this thing, and it takes 15 minutes to not even give you an answer. And we both get paid for this. Thank you.
It's perfect, really.
It's a beautiful job. It's political theater, and the reason theater is attached to it is because they're paid actors.
Yep.
We should be acting. You could probably still do it. Fuck, our president's 80 years old.
That's right.
You're only 60 something,
I'm 58 right now, so I got decades.
right?
You both are babies.
I
Jeez.
know.
I don't know what I'm running for, but I'm declaring I'm running right now. It's
Steve for president.
There we go.
2024.
I don't know if I want to be president.
Swall 2024.
That seems like a.
We've settled it.
The science is final.
Science is settled.
The science is settled. You're going to be president.
That's what they said to Obama. He's like, "What?" They're like, "No, son, you'll be president."
I want a more low-key gig, actually. I want something kind of like one of those people that you see on TV a couple times a year.
What would be the lowest key gig you could get in
Senate.
federal politics?
Yeah.
Probably Senate aide.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be easy. All you got to do is make sure that you'll get the door open when the lobbyists show up, right?
And the coffee. You got to make sure the coffee's warm.
I like
And when the lobbyist shows up, you got to be able to be ready to make a photocopy of any bill that they're going to present, because they, you got to have everyone's got to have their copy of it.
I think I can do that.
I think you could too.
I think I'm pretty much ready to do it right now. I don't see why I'm not doing it.
We would like to right now tell the people of America that we're ready to represent a senator as an aide to the senator. Anyone.
Any senator, anywhere.
We will move if we need to, but I don't think we have to be located at any specific state.
Even if it's in Italy, I'm ready.
And if anybody else would like to pitch in on this, please do. 253-254-6664.
Yeah, we're outnumbering Gary today. We got 2 here. Come on, Steve. Where are you, half foot? Get on here.
It's got to be somewhere here. I can't be the only Steve.
No, I'm sure. I bet Steve's watching. He's our most loyalist fan. And thank you, Steve, for watching and visiting when we went to the event the other day. Hope you had a good time.
Oh, he said he did.
Yeah.
As here, another one. Oh, this is going to break your heart.
I would have to have a heart.
Well, this one will get you where you live.
Okay.
Washington's cannabis industry is seeing a dip in sales.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
when it's easier to just drive through and steal it.
Yeah, it's dipped down to about 12% in the last year.
I'm still wondering what's going to happen with that. I mean, those places still can't put their money that they earn in a bank because it's federally illegal.
Right.
Still. So
Bitcoin or something?
they can't. I don't know what they do. I know they have huge safes in there, but the people who rob those places usually are just going for the weed because it's easier to sell the weed than to get into the safe.
Well, I'm sure getting the safe would be up there.
Yeah. But when the CBDC becomes the way of things, I wonder how that's going to transition, because that money is going to always be under federal control.
Yeah.
Now that money is now allowed to be in the bank, even though federally marijuana is illegal. They're gonna have to move stuff around. They're gonna have to change the laws drastically, or make it illegal again and close those shops all down.
Well, a lot of the shops are starting to close down. They're all either getting bought out by the larger guys, or they're just selling out and moving to another state, because the taxes alone, the Washington state taxes, are killing them.
Well, as it becomes legal in other states where taxes aren't as heavy, I can totally see any large, any of the bigger small shops setting sail, getting out of here.
Well, I was just recently in Nevada for 6 months, and I talked to guys down there that are working in the industry, and they told me that the shops they were working for are basically have shops in every state that works with.
Yeah.
And they basically it's just like a regular standard job where
it's a money printing facility, that's for sure.
yeah, and they have all the same other stuff that's going on where they tell you you're working too fast.
Yeah, but
Get some more weed for you, you know, just the typical stuff that goes along with that industry. Because I mean, I don't smoke that often, very rarely. And the guy I was hanging out with down there, he's worked in the industry for a few years, and he doesn't smoke. And he told me that he's constantly told to slow down because he would start doing other people's work, and he was being told he can't do that. So it's a real industry.
yeah. No, it's there's a market for it. It's a real industry. Those stores are real, and the oh God, what was I was thinking of something, and you started talking, and I lost it, so it wasn't important. Oh, I know what it was. You can tell it's a huge industry because the market named Zips, a local store here in our region, has 5 open stores today within 5 miles of my house.
That's fantastic.
Just one
branch.
Zips.
Yeah.
Zips. They got 5 stores. Go everywhere. And then there's the World of Weed, and then the thing over there at the by the EQC. I mean, there's 100 weed shops.
Oh yeah.
Within 5 miles of this house.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and but you know, I always thought that, you know, the taxes on it would be more like it is on alcohol, but no,
Yeah.
no. They the article I was reading yesterday and everything was saying the state taxes on these places is 35%.
Actually, I believe when it became legalized about, what was that, about 10 years ago now. I don't vote, but if I would have voted, I would have definitely voted against it because I thought the law was completely ridiculous. And I'm for marijuana being legal, but the law they passed was probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it was written for the bigger conglomerate businesses to take over anyone's shop. Because I voted no on 512 as well. I told everyone to vote no on 512 because, as you know, we were growing, and at the time that we were growing, I had like maybe 7 good strains, and before 512 passed, people were calling me, and I was selling ounces for sometimes $600, depending on if they bought it an eighth at a time or if they bought the whole ounce. So then I started selling it to the stores because the stores opened up, and now I was down to $300 an ounce. And I went in there one time with some top tier, some beautiful stuff, and they're like, "Well, we can give you $75 for it." And I was just like, "Well, I guess it's time to turn off the lights because it's not even worth growing it anymore." Yeah. Meanwhile, the store that I'm at, trying to sell it, has a shop connected to a room, connected to a grow facility right there with them. They don't need input from anybody on the outside anymore.
In fact, the last time I bought marijuana was from you, and that was about 15 years ago, when you were growing it. I bought some weed off of my...
Hey, you know, it's cool to be able to go to the store and buy weed and all that, but it was a lot more cooler when people called me to get it.
Actually, that was one of the first things he and I ever said to each other. I was back there. It was dark. He came out and everything, and was telling me that he was growing medical marijuana, so not for me not to worry about the people showing up. I'm going, wow, they must be sick late.
Yeah, it was fun doing it though.
It was fun until they ran us out of business, and again. They even ran. A buddy of mine was running a grow operation where he would just do all the starts. You had to flower it yourself, but he would do the starts, and he'd run them as long as you wanted, and then you could do the veg as long as you wanted before you flowered them. And he was making bank. He had 5 warehouses with just
starts.
Just starts.
That's a fantastic idea.
512 passed. 5 warehouses. 3 warehouses. 1 warehouse, back to selling used cars.
No kidding.
Yep.
So it's
and he's a good businessman, smart, has the money behind him, but didn't have enough to beat out the big corporations that are taking this over and moving in. And that's the only reason that thing passed, is because the big corporations have found a way to leverage themselves into the operation.
Yeah, once they get this thing Once they straighten out it on a federal level, I'm sure that the industry is just gonna take off like crazy. I don't think it's gonna be like you said, their sales are down 12% or whatever. I don't expect that to change.
No, I mean, everything's
but
going to
the
go up
way
and down. As a matter of fact, I assume sales will decline as fewer and fewer people are becoming drug addicts, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Because what was it? There was I want to say Portugal, but there was a country that legalized everything. They decriminalized, they legalized everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is 20 years ago, and they said there was a little bit of an uptick in addiction, but then a very huge decline. There was a decline in crime, and instead of putting people in jail, what they did was they made it a medical problem. If they caught you 3 times with more than you needed for a week, which I don't know how they determine that, because I need a lot every day. But if they caught you with a certain amount in a number of times, then it wasn't go to jail. It was go see this doctor
and take care of your medical.
Yeah, because maybe you've got chronic pain issue that needs to be addressed differently than what you're doing. And so and it works to a point.
Well, basically, it just making the stuff illegal just invites the whole criminal element into it. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
My question is, what's the difference between Portugal and Portland? Because they decriminalized it in Portland, and it's a mess down there.
I'm gonna go with it's gonna be perceptions of the population. I mean, your culture is a huge factor.
That's true too. The very
the
large
culture down
cultural
there,
difference.
The cultural difference in Portland is, I mean, even here Seattle, which is kind of like a sister city, the culture difference between Portland and Seattle is huge.
Yeah.
They're cleaning up Seattle a little bit at a time. I mean, they still got a lot of problems and everything. And it's basically I don't think it's all going away, but I have noticed that things have gotten better. Well, let's face it, during COVID, things were kind of weird everywhere.
Right.
It just was. And
shut down ghost town.
Yeah.
Homeless zombies everywhere.
I had about 300 cars 60 feet from my door up on Highway 99 in SeaTac a few years ago, and basically after COVID cleaned out, they cleaned them out. That all that's gone.
Yeah.
Completely. It's no longer there. And there was some sticklers on and whatever, but it was, let's face it, a very different thing was going on during all that. It wasn't the traditional homeless people like we used to see years ago, where it was a bunch of guys and a few women. It was whole family.
Yeah. Well, back before the COVID thing, homelessness was someone actually struggling. Yeah. Where now homelessness is the economic situation has driven my family out of our home.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was car after car filled with full families with children and a husband, and I think the guy might have been going to work during the day. I don't know. I mean, not all.
And it's hard to say. And single mothers raise cowards and criminals, and it's hard to improve upon that situation from a car, not even in an apartment.
It was definitely, those people were definitely struggling. I would bring them over food occasionally and stuff like that, because I realized that they are just people that are going through a very difficult situation.
That's what we did. A bunch of comics got together. We did a socks and underwear thing.
Yeah, because it was funny, because like there was like some of the people's reaction, it was like just yell at them or some other ridiculous. I mean,
some people don't like homeless people for some reason.
They're just people. That's all it really comes down to. They're people. Yeah, they might be messed up and all that, but they're still people.
Everybody makes bad decisions. Everybody has problems.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a good backup system to help me through when I've gotten in trouble, friends and family and stuff. Not everybody's got that.
You and I have only ever been homeless by choice.
Yeah, that's true. I was homeless in the 1980s for a summer. I quit my job, moved out of my apartment, hung out in my truck, went fishing every day and drank beer. And basically when fall came around, the rain season started again, I went and got a job and got an apartment, and it was kind of like I went camping.
Well, when I moved down to California that second time, I chose to be homeless, lived under a bridge. It was in the summer. Got a job with G Finder.
Yeah.
Till I got an apartment, and you know, and it was I reluctantly got the apartment because I was actually comfortable where I was because it was nice.
Temperature control.
And temperature control. It was like living on a beach, also under some shelter. It was perfect. It was wonderful, and I reluctantly got an apartment because at the time I got a girlfriend.
Well, you basically, you know, troll is a way of life.
Hey,
you
bro,
know?
I'm telling you, I'm a troll. I'm a natural troll.
I finally worked my way up to grip keeper. So yeah, I got that going for me. I work in the funeral industry.
Hi, my name is Steve. I will be your crypt keeper.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never been homeless. I have lived outside. My apartment was a poncho with my hat underneath it, and this kind of stuff. But I always had a home.
Yeah.
I just took it with me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was living in a car. I had a tent. It was wonderful. It was ideal. And then before that, when I was living in Hawaii, the last time I was in Hawaii, I spent 9 months living on the Ka'anapali resort beach, because I don't know if anyone's ever been to Hawaii or not, but those resorts, they have showers. When you come out of the water and you walk across the sand, there's a shower there that they'd like you to use to rinse sand and salt water off you before you go in their hotel. So there's a shower right there. I showered every damn day, sometimes twice. I lived down off the beach. Every couple nights I'd go out and I'd go fishing for about an hour, come back with a huge amount of fish. We'd have a big barbecue, big party, people bring beer.
Healthy living.
Dude, it was awesome. Here's the sad thing. If I would have known that if I had stayed in that spot for a full 10 years, I'd own that spot, I'd still be in that spot.
Yeah, the adverse possession.
It's if I'd have known that then, I'd still be in Hawaii because I would own land in Hawaii.
Yeah, I almost did that for down in Oregon in the mountains there. Almost decided to do that because of the adverse possession law.
Yeah, the homesteading and some kind of possession law that they have in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's adverse possession. That if you build a shelter and you stay for 10 years, or if you maintain the road through it or to it, which means that you can pick a rock up off the road, toss it off to the side, you've maintained that road. And you do that for a period of 10 years, you own that road, you own that property.
I think they're big on the little houses there too, which is not much smaller than what I'm living in now, actually.
Dude, this is a tiny house. All it needs is a fridge.
This place is about the same size.
This is bigger than a tiny house.
Yeah, but I mean,
this is like a double wide tiny house.
let's see, we got about
it's 20 by 24.
24, which would make it 480 square feet, which is 130 square feet more than what I'm renting out in SeaTac right now. Yeah. I should have stayed here for 10 years.
Yeah, you should have.
I've been down here enough. Why did I leave?
Listen, I love the hell out of you. We've known each other a long time, but when all your gear was against that wall, I was like, man, if he gets in a wreck on his way home, I'm not going to tell his dad it's here.
Yeah, my dad did know it was here. And you always had access to all my gear to use anyway, so it's not exactly. In fact, I'm sure I still have gear here.
You do have gear here.
I'm sure
you literally have gear in that closet and in that shed.
Probably. I could estimate I got.
As a matter of fact, is that yours or is that mine?
No, that's not mine.
Okay.
No, that's not mine. But I would estimate I got $3,000 to $5,000 worth of gear in this garage right now.
Oh,
and
easily.
I haven't been down here for what, a year?
Easily, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while, but I always knew it was here, and
Yep.
it's somewhere around.
It's safe. It's safe.
Yeah, it's definitely safe. Safer than any place else I've been.
Oh man. Yeah, fun.
Obviously, I've known Jesse for a while, like
Couple weeks.
Yeah, a day or two, yeah.
It's been longer than a couple weeks. May 1986.
Woo! Man.
No, it was July. I actually know the date. It was
Do you
July,
really?
It was July 6, 1986. We met over by Lindbergh High School. Or what was that school that was behind the condos I was living there on Pence?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, anyway, I met you and I met Mark Gladfelder. And you guys, I talked to Gladfelder last night.
Yeah?
You guys both remained friends. Here we are 35 years later,
35. He's being nice.
Well, it was 1986, so that would have been 35.
No. That's nearly 40 years ago, Bob.
Well, 35 is almost 40. I mean, you're just sneaking up from the other side. And in 2026, it will be 40 years. We're going to have like a graduation party.
Yeah. Get G-Finder over here. We'll be doing good.
Yeah.
That's like me and Mario for our 40th anniversary of being friends. We got on the motorcycles and went to the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. In fact, you guys talking about that just reminded me. Next, not 2023, but 2024, he and I will be best friends for 50 years.
That's amazing.
You old coots. Hey, did you know that supposedly there is a huge vein of gold in the Grand Canyon?
Probably.
Huge. Like massively huge, like enough to back the dollars that we have in the marketplace right now. That's how big it is. And when they discovered it, when they discovered it, they were like, "Oh shit! Stop everything." That's why you can't mine except for with explicit federal contracts in the Grand Canyon. And even then, it's very, very difficult to even get in there because there were mines going on, and they found ancient civilizations where people were molding with gold and stuff. So they found all this art and stuff.
Well, gold's a very interesting.
Yeah, oh yeah. They found that. This is the story. It's a conspiracy. I still haven't looked into it a lot, but they found so much gold down there that they were just like, "Oh shit, we got it." Kind of like De Beers burns diamond.
Yeah.
To control the market. That's why they stopped the mining there.
Yeah, because if you got all of a sudden got flooded with a bunch of gold, they would drop the price of gold.
And it killed the dollar when they tied it to gold and they pinned gold at $35 an ounce.
Yeah,
It killed the dollar, and I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that's just a natural thing that happened, but that led to the gold being illegal to own gold, and then they detached it from the dollar a few years later, and now, which brings us to my topic from the other day, which is the Federal Reserve, as it was their birthday on the 23rd.
Oh, fantastic!
They've been around for 99 years, and in those 99 years, the value of the dollar has gone down 99%.
That's fantastic. It really is
It's the truth too.
Well, it's basically the whole system's manipulated, but yeah, we all still just love dollars.
Oh yeah. Give me more. Give them to me. Give them.
I bathe in dollars.
And it's all fiat currency. It doesn't matter if it's a Bitcoin or if it's the dollar or if it's the yuan. It doesn't matter what it is.
It's all good.
If it's not being told, if I can go to the store with anything and be like, "Give me one," and they go, "Here you go," it works. Till that stops working, we're fine. Once that stops working, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
I just bought a speaker cabinet. He was glad to see cash.
I know, man. You got a good deal for it. I told you I got that full stack for $1,000.
I just bought a Mesa 412 for $450.
Yeah, because I got that Ampeg stack for $1,000 because when I went in there, I thought it was just for the head. And the guy's like, "You want to hear it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we plugged it in. We played a little bit, and he goes, and I was like, "Okay, I'll take it." And he goes, "Okay," and he starts packing it all up. And I'm not going to say no.
No, it's $1,000.
Basically, that was a free cab with an amplifier.
and leads.
So,
And leads.
yeah, because the last time I bought one, decades ago, it was $1,200 just for the cab. And then when I bought that Ampeg head, that was $900.
Me and Jesse had the most ridiculous rigs ever. I mean, I've seen a lot of professional bands play. I've helped tear down walls at shows. And I'm sure Jesse's done his share doing that nonsense too. And basically, we had in here. I had 2 9-10 cabs, 3 412, a 212, and probably about 400 watts worth of tube amplifiers. And Jesse had, if I remember, 215, two 910s, a 215. What was on top of that thing? It's been quite a few years, but
because I had the 215, the two 810s, I had 412, I had the 15 with the 410s,
That's
I
right.
had the 215, I had the 412, I had the 212, and now I've got 2 more 210s.
perfect. And then he had, I remember he had at one time he had a rack with was it a Mesa Boogie 400 plus?
The Mesa 400, a Mesa 400 plus, and an Ampeg SPT.
And, yeah, that's right. And it was, I mean, basically any one of these amps and cabs is like way too loud for any gig you'll ever do.
Yep.
Any arena. Yeah, we had like 5 of each.
my favorite story is when we were rehearsing in a place in Seattle.
That's right. The Red Door.
It was called the Red Door, and we were sharing a room with
Pleasure Elite, Grunt
and
Truck.
Grunt Truck.
A guy from CAD was there for a while.
Yeah. And unbelievably, the band in the room next to us recorded an album that actually got accolades. and I don't know how they did it because we were there almost 24/7, just loud as hell.
I lived there.
One time I walked in and him and one of the other guitarists, they're jamming.
Well, the guy from Grunt Truck.
And everything was on. Everything was on.
We hooked it all together. We hooked up all 4 band rigs and hooked it all together. The guy from Grunt Truck had this killer JCM 800 that just sounded fantastic.
Yeah, because he was playing his rig and you were standing next to him, and it's like, I can't hear myself.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, Steve was like, I can't hear myself.
Well,
and that's when they plugged everything in.
The guy from CAD had two 412 with EV12 M's, which are 300 watts each, and he had a Mesa Boogie Strategy 500, which has 4 6550s and 12 6L6s. And I played ridiculously loud. I would have like these 100-watt amps, and it was just like blaringly stupid loud because that's what we did back then.
So they're playing loud, and I walk in. Hey, this is great. And they're like, oh, you should plug in all the bass rigs.
So we did.
So we're jamming for a while, and then dude leaves, and he's just like, yeah, just turn everything off when you're done, because we had practice coming up. And he and I are jamming, and we're jamming, and then we stop. And our drummer walks in. Just as we stop, Rob walks in. And it's just like, oh, okay, band practice is about to start. And he's like, you guys ready? We're like, we're all warmed up. And we start playing. And you see him, he's back there, he's just like, he's slamming, and you can't hear the ride. You cannot hear the ride at all. And we all stop. We're laughing. He's all, what the hell's going on? It's like, oh, we got everything fucking plugged in. So we play for about 2 hours. We say, let's take a break. We open the door, and there's a note on the floor that says, turn your shit down. This isn't the fucking Kingdom. And Jerry DeVoe still has that note.
That note in the clown port is what
Yeah.
Clown port is definitely
and this was like a decade after the Kingdom had been obliterated. Turn your shit down. This isn't the fucking Kingdom.
God, it was stupid.
Which is why I'm surprised that those guys got that album recorded. They must have had someone sleeping there and been like, they left, come in quick.
What do you think we had going on in there? 130 decibels plus? I mean, it was.
Bro,
I've seen it.
It was loud enough that someone from the other side of the building left a note on our front porch saying, turn it down.
I'm sure you could hear that thing build buildings away. I mean, even though it was all underground.
No. But it was at the waterfront. So basically there was our room, and there was a hallway behind us, and there were another set of rooms, and then there were storage behind that, which were probably in the underground, but there was enough room between us and the front door of the actual building that you could tell when we were playing.
I also remember the place was Macklemore was doing work upstairs from us. And this is before anybody had heard of Macklemore. And I remember hanging out with them out front. I was like, why are you playing that crap? That shit stuck. Why don't you play some real music, some rock or whatever? He's like, I kind of like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And, everybody knows who Macklemore is, and of course nobody knows who I am. So obviously,
he did it right.
Yeah, his taste was better than mine.
Right. Him and Ye, they knew what was going on.
Yeah, nicest guy in the world, though. He really is.
All those guys were great, man.
Yeah.
Chad, all of them.
Yeah, they're good people.
Great people. There used to be an awesome music culture here in Seattle.
It was called 1990.
It was called 1990.
The 1990s was actually a really good time. It was like endless women, drugs, and music stuff.
And we lived on Alki. We were partying on Alki all the time. It was
Yeah, see, I was doing that 20 years before you guys. I mean, that was the 70s and 80s to me. Partying down at Alki and...
Oh, whatever, you old hippie.
Why didn't you come down and hang out with me?
Yeah. Where were you, man? Come on. I had a revolving doors going on at my place.
Well, because you guys were late bloomers. When I was doing it, you guys were still wearing bloomers.
I know if you go down to First Avenue where we were hanging out and playing all the time now, I haven't been to Central in a number of years. What's it like? You just like set up a tent down there?
I haven't been to Kells since we were so fucked up.
Oh, the
We
Kells.
were screaming, drinking, singing on the way home.
At least I didn't get arrested.
At least I just don't get arrested. Went down to Kells and we got drunk as hell, but we luckily didn't get arrested.
That's right, we were writing Celtic tunes.
Hell,
the last time I went partying down around
Good
there.
times and great oldies.
Yeah, they had a sausage roll that was like in a thin batter.
The beer batter, yeah.
Oh God,
Man.
that thing was good. If you're ever in Seattle, I recommend
If
stopping
you're ever in Seattle
just stay there.
and Kells is still around, just live in the batter. It's perfect.
There's no reason not to.
That's a wonderful bar. Service is good. Food is delicious. Alcohol you can't beat.
See, that used to be Bogies there in Capitol Hill.
Yes.
That's there in the alleyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to party there all the time.
So apparently this old man knows what us old people are talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure Steve's just typing like a madman. It used to be something else before that.
It used to be just a cave.
I remember that.
No wonder you trolls hang out there.
I remember when it was a cave. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm surprised those waitresses put up with us. They kept on serving us. It must have been. Well, we did tip well.
Well, we tipped well, and we were entertaining.
Yeah, we were having fun.
We weren't
annoying.
annoying.
We were drunk. We were idiotic.
We were entertainingly stupid.
Yes.
Or stupidly entertaining. One of the two.
Yeah, there were 3 bars I used to go to all the time down there. That one was the Bogies. The other one was just up the street. It was a disco place called Oscars.
Oh, Oscars. That's a gay club now.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be a. It used to be a black club.
Going in there. Was it me and you? How dare you point at
I think it was. But I was going to say, you remember Jackie, my sister Jackie, took me there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, when she found out she was not straight, she's like, I need someone to come with me. I was like, I'll go in there. So I go in there with her, and, me, beautiful, skinny, long blonde hair. I got drinks bought for me all damn night.
You're still beautiful, Jess.
I was just like, holy cow. So this one guy, he bought me 6 drinks. I had to give him a kiss at the end of the night. I was like, this is what you wanted?
Yeah.
And he's like, that is exactly what I wanted. So,
it's well worth the investment.
oh, yeah. I'm sorry I'm straight, but I'll give
Yeah,
you
see,
a
it was a black club when I went there. I was one of the few white people in the place. Most of the whites were women. I was one of
all the whites were women.
There was a couple of Asians in there.
They knew who had the money back then. The pimps.
And then I used to go to the Blackhawk, which was further up on like 17th, I think it was. And that was just a nice little quiet bar, you know. But
I had one that was down. It was on First Avenue, but all the way pretty far north. God, there was a bar in there. I used to go in there, and I remember there was always what I thought they were real witches. Like, it seemed like their eyes glowing red and shit. What the fuck is going on in here? I'm not really into the paranormal or any of that kind of shit, but I'll tell you, there's a couple times I've been in there, it kind of like freaked me out. I was like, this is like right out of some B movie. It was terrifying. When someone put the drugs and alcohol, who knows what would happen?
that was probably where my second wife used to go.
Get in the pool. That looks like a pot. Yeah, it's a hot tub.
They're good people. You know, it's like fucking a lot of people. It's like the homeless. A lot of people have certain connotations against those people that deal with the supernatural, and you know, it's just a stereotype.
Yeah, well, you can never really know what's going on in someone else's mind if you're not going to talk to them.
Well, you know, there's this.
And then when you do talk to them, sometimes what's going on in their head isn't clear to you because they can't clarify it.
Yeah, you're like almost speaking two different languages.
I mean, I have trouble communicating with someone I've been with for 30 damn years sometimes. And it's just, she's like, what is wrong with you? I was just like, I'm trying to get the words correct. She was just like, write it down.
I'll tell you, there was a saying I heard that really fits just about it. It's that the world doesn't change; the way you see it does. And it's very true every day of our lives.
Well, I mean, I understand that the way you see the world changes, but the world does change.
Yeah.
I know.
It's changed a lot since I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, we had
definitely changes.
When I was a kid, we had.
Right there, you can see that little blur.
That's me.
Yeah.
Our culture has definitely changed because I remember back when comedy was pretty obnoxious and straightforward. Now it's all kind of like been kind of thinned out and polished up in its own way. I don't know. To me, the more raw was more honest to me.
Went from Don Rickles to George Carlin to Amy Schumer. That's where
I think you're right about that.
Really, Rodney Dangerfield.
You used to be all right to insult someone to their face because you knew it was a joke. No matter how hard it cut, you still knew it was a joke.
Yeah,
even if it was the truth, it's still a joke.
Don Rickles was the man.
Then you get to George Carlin, who's like, hey, look, everything's messed up. Oh, it's a joke. Yeah, no, it's not a joke. Everything's messed up. Oh, it's a joke. Great joke. And then you get to Amy Schumer, who is a joke, who steals jokes. And the only reason she's got any kind of fame at all is because her daddy's a goddamn politician that made it happen.
Perfection. It's like everything else. It's been brought down to its bare elements and stolen and resold.
Yeah, bro. And it's not like she's the original comic thief either. Carlos Mencia. Yeah, so, And here's the funny thing. Right now, you and I could start a band and play any song we want from anyone's catalog we want on the planet. But I can't go up on stage and tell someone else's jokes because they'll hate me for it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But I have seen a comedian get on stage and do a persona. Like,
oh, really?
Hey, I am this comedian tonight and I'm doing their jokes. And it was accepted. I'm just like...
So the whole thing comes down to is if it's a parody, it's almost like a cover band.
Well, see, I don't know because you don't hear a cover comedians.
No, I never heard of such a thing, but
I
see a new wave.
But I watched this lady. It was a female comedian. She got on stage. She She was Dolly Parton that night, and then the next night I saw her. She was someone else, and she did material from those people as a parody of them, and it was accepted. Whereas if someone got up on stage and did a joke, like I watched someone get up on stage and they did a joke about, well, you're using paper to wipe your butt, what do you use when you get poop? And see, that's a Craig Ferguson joke.
Yes.
And this guy got up on stage and he did that joke. And then the MC got up on stage and said, hey, we love comedy here, but make it your own.
Yeah. Was that Brendan?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were there. Yeah, we were there. Yeah. Okay, I remember I said that's great. I didn't say. I didn't be like, "Hey, you're stealing jokes, you hack." I just told you that's.
So that what was the name of that place? 907.
The 907. Yeah.
The 907. The 907 was actually pretty good time.
It's a great place. We were there a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
If you guys go up there again, let me know. I mean, I'm not too far from there. I'm about 3-4 miles from there. I definitely would come down and.
Oh shit.
Because I had a lot of good times there. I used to be there every, was it Monday?
Yeah. Remember when Duffy lived across the street?
Yeah,
We go there all the
Duffy was
time.
there. That's right, Duffy.
Brought Kazoom there one time. We need to get Kazoom on stage. Kazoom's a fucking comedian. That guy could kill it if he wanted to.
And probably one of the better singers we've
And, no, he has got to be hands down the best vocalist I've ever worked with.
Terry was pretty good, but Terry.
I want to say Russ, but Kazoom.
Russ was up there. Russ was incredible.
Bro, right now, those are goosebumps from thinking about Russ singing "Selfish Man." That one line.
Selfish man.
Selfish man.
That intro.
Fuck, man. Woo!
Indica with
Goosebumps right now.
Scotty McMahon
Yeah.
and Jesse. Remember, I played bass for a
You
little
did.
while, and then I told you
And
guys.
you told Jerry he should go play bass because you left.
Yeah.
And he got so insulted. Our friend Jerry didn't talk to him for a year because he said, hey, you should go play bass with these guys because Jerry's a guitarist, but he's also very feminine.
How dare you?
How dare you suggest that a guitarist go play bass? That is so beneath me. When you said it to me, I immediately quit the band we were in and was like, hey, Scott,
I was in a band
Scott.
with Jesse. I told him, I said, go play with that other band. It's like the right gig. And then they were like kind of pretending like they weren't doing it. I was like, dude, it was my idea.
I'm out.
Well, I had a friend named Kurt that was a lead guitarist, and he was very, very good. And but he ended up being asked to play bass for this other band to cover their bass player who was sick. And so he went ahead and he played bass for them for a couple of nights, and he fell in love with it and ended up just being a bassist.
You might as well.
I love bass. It's so simple. There's no pressure. You get the girl that wants the singer, then the girl that wants the guitarist, and then the girl that wants the drummer. Someone's got to go to the basses.
Yeah.
I'll take the drags. I'm not afraid.
Well, I have to admit it was. I had fun.
You only got to know your alphabet A through G sharp. You only really have to be able to count the 2, because if they want you to count the 4, you just double that. It's easy.
What name do you use on this show?
What name do I use on this show?
Yes.
Veg.
Veg. Okay. Me and Veg have been in a lot of bands from about 1996 on, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, what were we in? 30 bands, maybe?
Probably. I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah,
because it's probably a lot more.
It's probably more.
Because here's Tested on Animals that we were in. True Sedation you helped start. Nothing Sounds Good. We are still in.
We're still in it. Yeah.
So yeah, but Tested on Animals. This is you and me and Lee Elton.
Yeah.
And our buddy. Goddamn, what's that fat fucker's name? His brother's Tommy Gunn. Corey. This is me, you, Corey, Rob, and Notley.
So basically, me, Jesse, and Mark Gale are technically in a band. We're in a band right now, and we haven't practiced for 4 years.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah, it's about 4 years since we practiced, and I basically have talked to these guys over the years. I've said to them, it's like, well, you guys want to do a gig? And basically what we concluded, ideally we would get 2-3 practices, but we are right now ready to do a gig literally this very minute.
We would need 15 minutes
to come up with a band
decide
name.
what the band name is. because we hadn't seen each other in probably 7 years. Mark brought drums over. We got together in this room, and within 5 minutes we were like, well, I guess we can go do a gig.
March looks like he's going to be doing a gig in Paulsboro, and it's going to be the largest statue he's ever done.
Oh yeah?
So he might be around for quite a while.
Ooh.
Yeah, so maybe we will actually do a gig.
And that you're invited. You come on over. He's a musician too. He does some fun stuff.
Yeah, definitely come over. Yeah, so I don't know when it's going to happen or whatever.
If and when it happens, let's do it.
But me,
yeah, let me know when you do.
Rob, you and Rob were in a lot of bands together, and I'd have to say
you and Rob and I have been in a band for 30 years.
30 years. I think we're still in a band.
We are in. If you called Rob right now, and I started pulling gear out of the shed, Rob would be over here ready to play in about 2 hours.
Rob and Jesse, I've worked with a lot of musicians, are the tightest rhythm section I've ever worked with. Everything they do is kind of a march. It's that straight on top of the beat sound, and they're very, very good at it. I would come in with like these more swing-oriented stuff, and within 5-10 minutes, it would be back to the march. That's what those guys do, and they do it well.
We were the rhythm section, and we took it serious.
but Jesse, I've seen Jesse so loopy he could barely keep his eyes open, and he was able to play solid. He's an incredibly solid bass player.
Well, I've seen him to where he was almost passed out sitting down, and he was banging on my guitar.
Guitarist you're ever going to meet in your life.
What?
Well,
This is the best guitarist you're ever going to meet in person in your life, right here. This guy. This is the best guitarist.
I do okay.
Kim Thile? Steve Sewall? Yes.
And the funny thing is, I'm playing more mandolin than guitar now. I've been playing mandolin like every day for a couple months now. I'm in the mandolin.
Well, that's because, you used to play bass.
Yeah. And I flipped it upside down, made the string smaller. Made it small enough for that, but for the mushrooms to make it look like it's real. How come there's 2 strings where there was only 1?
Right.
Don't worry about it.
What are you doing? Wait till you get to the ones that have 12, and it's the 2 little tiny ones and that fat one. How am I hitting this? I don't know. Oh, it's a song.
We would write songs. I remember we wrote one song.
We wrote a song in 5 minutes and played it that fucking night and recorded it 2 months later.
And it got
Mary had a little lamb.
And KISW was playing it.
Yeah.
It was like our hit. We wrote it in less than 5 minutes.
And did a gig that night.
After being at Kells.
And did a gig that night.
We had to sober up to play that night.
Played it. We used to have a lot of fun. We could have it again if we so choose, I guess.
It's early in the day. We won't have a gig.
We've only just started drinking.
We've only gone through about 15 shots. So.
Oh, don't even kid yourself.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Christmas miracle, boss.
Oh my God. I could have had my own. Jameson.
Your dirty lips were on my bottle.
Jameson, you're a friend of mine.
Not sponsored. We would love to be, though.
It's a holiday tradition. It started out like an hour ago.
Yeah, because every day is a holiday with Jameson. Yeah.
That's for the 4 o'clock show.
I never drink. I'm already lit up.
I bet.
Yeah,
you don't. You really did ease back on everything.
Oh, yeah, I did.
For a while.
No more powder.
I say for a while, but I mean, you eased back on everything.
But I had to sober up to. I had
become human.
I had to move and all that stuff. I had to go over and over again. But I basically I never like quit anything. I just started doing other things. I was never one of those people that's like, well, I'm going to quit doing this. I need to get this out of my life. This is fucking, because it never really did. It actually really.
Hey, if I told you I'm 90 days fire clean, would you understand what I'm saying?
That means that you've got an anima? I don't
I'm on fire.
Oh, fire clean. You know what?
Now you know.
Now I know. I helped you put out that fire.
Yes, you have. You also helped me light it. Woo!
Nothing like being a little paranoid in a room with no windows.
Right? I have to pee. I've been drinking. I'll be back. Keep the people.
Well, that's our hour anyway.
Hey, I don't care about our hour. I'll be back.
Well, now that Jesse's gone, I'm taking over the show.
Well, finally, we'll upscale it.
Finally, we could give this thing a little bit of class.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just driving home. I had gone out to the peninsula, and Jesse had stopped by. And I've been on the show before, or at least previous version of the show, but Veg has definitely been somebody you can really trust and rely on in my lifetime. He's been solid. As messed up and goofy as we were in our lifetime, he's a very solid individual.
Yeah, well, that's one reason why we get along. Is he does. He's fun. He's kind of goofy in a lot of ways, and but he is somebody that I think I can rely on. And we've been doing this podcast
he's
for.
Going to do it.
Say what?
There's about a 99% chance he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't play games. He pulls it together, and I've worked some jobs with him. That guy will work his ass off. I mean, I've seen him go gung ho on gigs. I don't know if his health's up to where he can do that kind of stuff anymore, but Jesse worked like a freaking mule. He really did. He was a hard worker, physically hard.
Holy shit, that was an epic piss.
I'm going to that. I got enough
Do it, man.
Irish whiskey.
You bail out, and we're going to end this program, and we'll be happy. That was Steve Swall, my good friend of a very, very, very long time.
Well, nice to meet you, Steve.
Nice meeting you also. Tell Steve I said hi.
Will do. Anyway, thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for joining me and Steve in a nostalgia-driven episode of You Must Be Joking.
Right? Be sure and email him at veg@rubberchickenradio.com or me, Gary, at rubberchickenradio.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail, 253-254-6664.
And send us a topic that you'd like to hear us talk about. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I keep
finding old farts talking about old farts. It's got to be boring for some of you youngins.
Well, if they saw the world back then through our eyes, they'd know what bloodshot was.
Right? So there's evidence that everything I've ever told you is true. Unfortunately, everything can be corroborated.
See, that's the problem. You've got witnesses.
That's the problem. I do have witnesses. It may have been pre-internet, but people still remember.
Yeah, trauma lasted then, too.
All right, Gary.
Okay, you take care, and I'll see you later.
And Merry Christmas to everybody that didn't have one.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, boss. Talk to you later.
Okay, take care. Okay.